Hello and welcome everyone. I hope you all are fit and fine. In the previous class, I explained you about the fifth form of organization, which is the joint stock company. Students, what is joint stock company? Joint stock company is a voluntary association of persons having separate legal existence, perpetual succession and common seal. Okay, we have completed its characteristics also till point 5. Today we will begin with point 6. Let us start now. Sixth point, transferability of shares. See the explanation. Shares of public company are easily transferable, but there are certain restrictions on transfer of shares of private company. Students, generally, like you might have heard about shares of the company, right? The capital of the company is divided into shares. There are many shareholders in the company who have purchased the shares of the company. Okay, they have purchased the shares of the company and they become the shareholders of that particular company. Now, a shareholder of a company who is holding a share in a company is free to withdraw his membership from the company by selling his shares. It means that जो shareholders होते हैं, okay, वो कंपनी में पैसे लगाते हैं और कंपनी के शेयर्स को खरीदते हैं. ओके, नाउ अ शेयर होल्डर इज फ्री टू विड्रॉ हिज मेंबरशिप. अगर वो चाहें तो उस शेयर को वो सेल भी कर सकते हैं एंड दे कैन विड्रॉ द मेंबरशिप फ्रॉम दैट company. Okay, now what happens is transferability of share, this condition, okay, this condition of selling the shares and withdrawing the membership. Okay, मतलब अगर उनको उस कंपनी में पैसे नहीं लगाने हैं तो वो क्या करेंगे, फाइनली they will sell all the shares, okay, of that particular company and they will withdraw their name, okay, from that company. Okay, now this procedure is generally accepted in public company. Okay, so the transfer of share is very easy. Okay, they can easily buy and sell the shares of the company, but in case of private company it is very difficult. There are some complications, there are some restrictions, and there are some there are some rules and regulations regarding this. Okay, so for transferability of shares means for buying and selling the shares. Okay, for that procedure the public company allows easy transferable of shares, but in case of private company there are some restrictions regarding this, right? Now the next is separation of ownership and control. Now students, in joint stock company, okay, there is separation of ownership and control. See the explanation. Management of company is in the hands of elected representatives of shareholders, known individually as controller and collectively as board of directors. Now students, what happen is, I tell you always this thing, that it has separate legal existence. Okay, it has separate legal existence means, or the separation of ownership and control means, the person who is owning the company is different and the person who is controlling and managing the company is different. Okay, now management of a company is in the hands of elected representatives of shareholders. Now students, who manages the activities of the company? The shareholders, okay, whom we call as board of directors, okay, of the company. Now the shareholders, this shareholders elect representative. Okay, now एक कंपनी में बहुत सारे शेयर होल्डर्स होते हैं. सो व्हाट दे विल डू, दे विल वोट एंड दे विल चूज अ मेंबर हु विल बिकम द हेड. ओके, एंड दैट person will actually have all the control power and all the management power. Okay, he will be the one who will manage all the activities of the company. Okay, so one elected representative is selected among the shareholders. Okay, and all the powers, all the control power, all the management power is in the hand of that particular representative. Okay, so the person who is managing the business, who is controlling the business is different. Okay, and the person who is owning the business is different. Okay, who is owning the company is different. So there is a separation of ownership and control. Okay, it is not necessary that the owner will do all this management work. Okay, so in a company there can be separation of ownership and the controlling or managing power. Coming to the next point, that is limited liability. Now, the liability of every member is limited to the nominal value of shares bought by him or to the amount guaranteed by him. Like, see student, for example, if a person has purchased 1000 shares of value rupees 10 each, okay, 1000 share, okay, 1000 share of 10 rupees, okay, 1000 share of 10 rupees means then he is liability is limited to 10,000 rupees only, okay, means जितना भी शेयर उनका उस कंपनी में होगा according to that share, otherwise the amount, okay, which they have guaranteed, okay, according to that they are liable to pay, okay. प्रॉफिट हुआ तो भी वो अपने शेयर्स के अकॉर्डिंग एंजॉय करेंगे, अगर लॉस हुआ तो भी उनको अपने शेयर और जितना भी उन्होंने शेयर कैपिटल कंट्रीब्यूट किया है उसके अकॉर्डिंग उनको लाइबिलिटी अमाउंट देनी पड़ेगी, ओके. नाउ सो दिस इज व्हाट अबाउट लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी. दे हैव अ लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी, ओके, ऑल द पर्सन हैव लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी. लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी मीन्स दैट they have to pay the amount only of what they have contributed, only to the extent of their capital contribution, okay. The company cannot claim on their personal assets, okay. The liability of the members of the company is limited to the extent of their share capital, okay. Like we have studied no, in unlimited liability, अगर कोई person अमाउंट पे नहीं कर पा रहा है, जितना भी उसका डेप्थ है, DEBT डेप्थ, ओके, जितना भी उनका डेप्थ है, अगर वो कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर पा रहा है, देन द कंपनी कैन क्लेम ऑन हिज प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ऑल्सो. बट इन लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी केस अ कंपनी कैन नॉट क्लेम ऑन द प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स, ओके. वो उतना ही क्लेम कर सकती है जितना उन्होंने शेयर्स खरीदा है या फिर जितना उनका शेयर है उस कंपनी में, राइट. So this is all about characteristics, features of joint stock company, okay. Now moving to the next, that is merits and demerits of joint stock company. Let us begin with the merits. First is limited liability. As I told you in the features also, that the liability of all the members of the company is limited, okay, means the liability is limited to the extent of their share capital, how much share capital they have contributed in the company, okay. It is limited to that, okay. Now they cannot, in case of any loss or anything, they cannot claim over the personal property of the member, they cannot claim it, the company cannot claim over the personal property of the members, okay. It is limited to the extent of their share capital, जितना उन्होंने contribute किया है कंपनी उतना ही उनको क्लेम कर सकती है, ओके, उतने ही अमाउंट तक उनको क्लेम कर सकती है, ओके, उससे ज़्यादा क्लेम नहीं कर सकती है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज ट्रांसफर ऑफ interest. Now transfer of interest means what? Generally students, the share of the company can be easily bought and sold in the market. As I told you, transfer of, like see here we have studied like transferability of shares, मतलब कोई भी shareholder, okay, any shareholders can buy and sell the share whenever they need, okay. In case if the shareholders want to sell the shares and get the money in return, then he can go for that, okay, he can sell the share and get the cash, okay. That is transferability of shares, right. So transfer of interest means they can easily transfer the share, that is the advantage, okay. Whenever the shareholders want to withdraw their name from the company or they want to get cash, then they generally sell the shares, okay. So the procedure of buying and selling is easy, that is the advantage, okay, in case of public company. Now the next is perpetual existence. As I tell you, perpetual existence, it is a great advantage, okay. Perpetual existence means a company, in a company a person comes and a person goes, but the company keeps on moving because it does not depend on one single person, right. He's like a single person does not run a company, okay. Like there is sorry, a single person does not run a company, okay. So perpetual existence means a company continues to go on, okay. The company runs even if any death or insolvency happens in the organization, okay. Company is there in the organization, sorry, the company is still there, it does not get affected, it does not get closed due to the death or insolvency of any of its member of or any of its employees, okay. That is why perpetual existence is a merits, because company को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता इस चीज़ से, okay, and the company keeps on going. Now the next is growth and expansion. Now generally in the big company, okay, there is the chance of growth and expansion. Joint stock company, okay, they have a lot of funds with them, okay, they have lot of funds with them and they can invest those funds. Suppose a company is there producing cosmetic, okay, so if they want to open a new branch in some other state or if other country, then they can go for that, okay. It means they are expanding their business, okay, they are growing their business. So in this way they can expand and grow their business, because in joint stock company there are many members who actually, there are many shareholders who actually contribute the capital, and together they have lot of funds with them, okay. The company has large financial resources, okay. So that is why this help them to grow and expand their business, okay. Now they have large amount of capital, as I told you earlier, that the company has many shareholders, okay, and all the shareholders contribute some amount in the company, okay. So they have large amount of capital with them, the company have large amount of capital with them, and they can use all these capital for, like, they can use all this capital for investing in the business, right. Now next is efficient management. See, in joint stock company there is always an efficient management, means all the activities are managed very nicely, very efficiently. How? Say, generally in a company they have sufficient funds, okay, there is no shortage of funds, they have sufficient amount of capital, okay, they have good amount of financial resources, okay. Now if they have finance with them, if they have money with them, then they hire the experts from outside the organization who are very, like, who are professionals, okay, who are experts in their field. They hire experts and the experts perform very well in the organization, okay. The experts are the one who have specialized knowledge about their field. So if in an organization the experts work, then definitely that organization will run efficiently, right. So that is why it is said that joint stock company is managed efficiently, okay. So these were the merits of joint stock company. Now let us move to the demerits of joint stock company. Complexity in formation. It is a complex procedure because many legal formalities are involved in this. It is a very large, like, it is a very long, lengthy procedure. It is a very complicated procedure, okay. Many legal formalities have to be done, okay. Many documentations are required, many things is there, okay. Multiple things are to be done, so it is a very complex process. So that is a demerit, okay. Huge cost is involved, okay. हर एक process, हर एक step में उनको बहुत सारे cost involve होते हैं, उनको हर एक step में fees देना पड़ता है, commissions are involved, many things are done, okay. They have to pay fee for registering the company, so many things are done. That is why it is considered as a very complex procedure. Now lack of secrecy, that's very obvious. If in an organization there are, like, there is a chance of loss of secrets. How? Because it is very difficult to maintain a complete secret, because the company have different, like, they discuss all the details with their board of directors, right. They discuss all the they discuss all the details and they provide all the information to the board of directors, okay. So all the information is available to the general public also, okay. See student, generally due to this procedure there is no secret maintained in the organization, okay. Now lack of secrecy is what? For joint stock company, okay, joint stock company has to provide all the informations to the office, to the registrar, okay, to the registrar of the company, okay, and all the informations are published outside, okay, so it is published outside for public knowledge, okay, the people should also know how the organization is working. So sometimes the important information get leaked, okay. Now the next is impersonal work environment. Now student, see, here impersonal work environment says that here the company is not managed by the owners. As I said, the company is not managed by the owners. The owners are different, as I told you here. The owners are different and the managers or the controller are different, okay. Who are the managers and the control? They are the elected representatives of the shareholders, okay. Among all the shareholders, a single member is selected, or one or two members are selected as an elected, they are elected, and they are the one who actually manage the business or manage the company, okay. So there is impersonal work environment. Why? Because these managers get salary for their service, okay. So there is, they will work hard for their work, they will work hard to increase the profit, okay, they will work hard to increase the profit. Now the owner will want what? That he should get the profit, okay. Here impersonal work environment is what, students? See, here there is always the conflict between owner and the controller. Owner will feel that all the profit should go to him, and the manager who is actually doing all the work, who is operating all the activities, he or she may feel that whatever the company is earning, okay, whatever the profit company is gaining, he should get some part of that profit. And due to all this, there is always a conflict between owner and the manager, so it creates impersonal work environment, okay, right. Now coming to the next, that is numerous regulations. Now it is, as I told you, it is a very long, like, number of procedures, legal procedures are involved, and numerous rules and regulations are there which the company has to follow and which the members have to follow. There are many formalities, okay, many legal formalities are there. So it, like, that is a demerit for the company. Delay in decision, very correct. In an organization, the decisions are not taken by one person, okay. Generally in a big organization there is a chain of people, okay. There are levels, the top levels, the middle level, and the lower level. The information will channelize, okay. There is a hierarchical channel, okay. So the business will go in, the information will go in chain, and due to all that, when the information passes, like for example, if in an organization, there are top level, the middle level, and the lower level. Then if the lower level people want to communicate anything to the top level, then the information has to go through a channel. The first information will go to the middleman, sorry, the middle level managers, and then the middle level managers will communicate it to the top level managers, and then after, the information will be reached to the top level management, okay. And then the top management will decide and take decisions on it. So the procedure is very long. That is why it is said that there is delay in decision, okay. It takes time to take decision. It is a lengthy process, okay, because the large number of people are working in the company at different levels, okay. Now there is oligarchic management or conflicts in interest. Now students, see, now company, okay, in real, okay, a company is in the hands of a few people, only the directors, okay. Directors are the only one who actually have full control over the company, okay. These are the people who actually take all the decisions regarding the company, and sometime it happens that they take decisions and they do something, like, generally they think about their personal interest and their personal benefit, and they ignore the interest of the other shareholders and the company, okay. This is also a demerit. Now next is conflict in interest. As I always tell you that, like in an organization, various people are there, large number of people are working in a company, okay, so they might have difference in their opinion, okay, so they will not, like, it is not necessary that they all will have a common interest, okay, they will have different opinions, so in that case there can be the chances of conflict between them, right. So this is all about joint stock company, okay, it's very simple, nothing to worry about. Joint stock company means a simple company, voluntary association in which it has separate legal existence. It means the owner and the manager is different here, and it is perpetual succession, means the company, what, the company tends to run, okay, even if the death, insolvency, etc. incur in the organization, okay, it will not affect the existence of the company, and it has a common seal, means the company is known by its name, okay, in all the documents, in all the legal procedure, only the name of the company will be used, okay. So here we have studied the meaning, characteristics, features, and the merits and demerits of joint stock company, right. Now we will move to the next topic, which is types of companies. See the explanation, students. On the basis of ownership, companies can be divided into three categories, okay. Into how many categories? Into three categories. What are they? First, private limited company. Second, public limited company. Third, one person company, okay. So these are the three categories of the companies, okay. Private company, public company, and one person company. We will see the details of all the three. Let us begin with the first one, that is private company. Please read the explanation along with me. According to section 268 of Companies Act 2013, a private company means a company which restricts the right of members to transfer shares, okay, according to this section, according to Companies Act 2013, okay. A private company is a company, means according to this act, how they have defined private company, we will see in these points, okay. So the first point is, in a private company there is a restriction in the rights of the members to transfer shares, as I told you earlier also, student, like we have studied, like transferability of shares. Here transferability of shares means it is not easy to transfer the shares for the private company, there are many restrictions, okay. It means that, see, restrictions restricts the right of the members to transfer the share. It means that here the person, generally it is for the private company, where studying about private company, okay. So in this private company, the members of the private company are not, like, there are many restrictions, okay. There are many restrictions related to transfer of shares, means many procedures they have to follow, there are many complications regarding buying and selling of shares, okay. Transferability of shares means what, students? Generally, in case a shareholder is there, okay, shareholder wants to sell out its share and he wants to get the money back, okay, so he can do that, okay. But this procedure of buying of shares from the company and selling the shares of the company, it is not possible in many private company, okay. There is a restriction for that, and some of the private company cannot apply for shares, cannot call for shares, मतलब जो private company होती हैं वो अपने shares को publicly नहीं बेच सकती हैं, okay. There are some restrictions, okay. Now next, the next point is, restricts the number of its members between 2 to 200, excluding present and previous employees of company who are members also, okay. Excluding means restrict of number of its members to 2 to 200, means how many members should be there? Minimum there should be 2 members in the private company, and maximum it should be, like, it should have 200 members, okay, excluding the present and the previous employees of the company who are already the member, right. Now the next is, it puts a ban on inviting the public to subscribe to its shares. Now students, as I told you, there is a restriction to private company for transferability of shares, okay. Restrictions to private company means they cannot call for shares, okay. Like a private company जो होती हैं, they put a ban on inviting the public to subscribe to its share. It means that ना वो अपने कंपनी के शेयर्स बेच सकते हैं और ना ही जो पब्लिक है उनकी कंपनी में पैसे लगा सकती हैं. ओके, सो जो जो शेयर होल्डर्स होते हैं जो कंपनी में पैसे लगाते हैं एंड दे परचेज द शेयर्स ऑफ दैट कंपनी, इट इज़ रेस्ट्रिक्टेड इन द केस ऑफ पब्लिक कंपनी. जो मैंने फर्स्ट पॉइंट में बताया, देयर इज रेस्ट्रिक्शन इन द राइट ऑफ मेंबर्स टू ट्रांसफर द शेयर्स. नाउ next is must have a minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupees. Now apply private company, what is like share capital students? Capital see, capital is the amount which is used to commence a business. जो capital amount होता है वो amount होता है जिससे कि वो business commence होता है, start होता है. Okay, that is the capital amount. So they should have minimum paid up capital of 1 lakh rupee. उनके पास 1 lakh rupee होना चाहिए. The minimum capital they should have is 1 lakh rupee. Then only they can go for private company. They can start their company, right? Now the next is public company. Okay, we will see all these topics in our next class. That was it for today. Thank you.